Well, welcome to session 5, and hopefully in this session we'll finish off this floor plan, show you how to put some dimensions and text and how to put it on a sheet, and how to then print it to perhaps PDF or something like that. And then we can move on to our little projects after that. So this is where I left it off. I know a few of you are quite advanced. Last week we ended up putting in, we created this window block, or one of them, or a few of them. But like, then, but the blocks are in the learn site anyway. But we just did it for the exercise. The door was in there already, so we just brought that in. This one here, all we did is just drew like a couple of 45s there, using the this one here, the polar tracking, setting it to 45 degrees. And again, this is it's not a block. It's just these are just rectangles. However, you could have made it into a block and use it for next time, eh? So it's a bit of a hybrid drawing where we've got some blocks, some things we just drew, and that sort of thing. But yeah, how do you decide whether to make it into a block? I mean, the good question is, would I use it again? If the answer is yes, you can make it into a block and put it on disk in your library. All right, so let's have a look at the I call it Moodle, but it's the Learn site now. They keep changing their name. So student. Okay, so basically here, if I click student, okay. Here we got the introduction to AutoCAD practice exercise, which is what we've been doing, and I'll bring that PDF up. All right, so this is the next bit to do is for me is to put these windows in, and I have measured down for you, so it's quite easy to then cut in the wall there. So let's do that. So 1800, 1810, whichever way you want to go. There's a myriad of techniques you can use to do that. You can offset, or you can just make sure you got your um, which one is it? Sorry, this one here. The object snap tracking on, perhaps, and just draw the line. Now you've got to be in the right layer, so I'm just going to choose one of the wall layers to start with. So wall brick, and I'm going to draw a line that goes from here. Just hang around there a bit, and I'll click, and I go down, and then I type in 1800, and it should start from 1800 from that corner. There it is, and then I go perpendicular and escape. That's it for that line. From here on, I can probably offset now a lot easier. So I can go look at my floor plan, which I've got a printout of here rather than flicking around all the time. Um, those of you that got two screens, you can put it on the second screen, and I just use the offset command from here on. I recommend you use the offset command or even other commands with the dynamic input on. You can pre-select as well if you want, and then hit the offset command, and then type in the number. It's the thing you got to do next. Once you click that button, the number goes in next, and 1810, which is the window width. Type it in, and pointing down, click, and I can do the same thing now. Just keep clicking and just changing the number. It's 2780. Next, and then the next one is 1810, I would say, which is a window width. That 1810 tells me that it, or signifies to me that it's probably an aluminium window width. All right, so that's that. Now I have a remainder of 1800. I should always check. If I go here and here, yes, 1800, correct. All right, so while I'm in the mode of setting, I am going to also do the bottom windows, which this one's here, or this window and that window. So that's 2, 3, 3, 5 from that end. So I'm going to use the same technique. Line, hang around here, come around there. Now, what other way can we do it if we didn't, we're not quite sure how to do that or grasp that technique? The other way would be to offset this line. However, I can't offset that external line because it's already a polyline, but I can explode it and offset it and trim it and then I can offset the trimmed version. But I'm just going to go with the usual way. Line command, hang around there, don't click, come along. Now, if you can't quite get that right, you can also do it another way, which is to draw the line, actually draw it from this corner here along, a lot of people do that, horizontally, along 2, 3, 3, 5. That's another way, 2, 3, 3, 5. And then go up perpendicular and stop it there. But you have to come back and remember to delete that little extra line there. Oop, wrong one. Delete one there. So one, delete. All right, so offset. Let's do the other way like the way I did before. The way I did before. So highlight and then offset, and then we're going to go 1810, 1810. Off it goes there. Now, I mean, I dare say that that window is actually in the middle of that room. Do you know that? So if I want to check that, I go line from midpoint perpendicular, and I reckon that window is supposed to be in the middle of the room. And normally, if I didn't have those dimensions, it looked like it was the middle of the room, like the one after, the bedroom one, I could just draw straight in the middle of the room. And I would use this technique. I wouldn't have drawn these other two here. I would just gone, if I erase it again, delete, delete, erase. I would just go line from the midpoint here, perpendicular or straight across to the midpoint there. And I go offset 905 each side. Yep, 905. I just typed it in this time first, and just different way of doing the offset. I didn't pre-select. And if I just check now, make sure these numbers do add up. 2, 3, 3, 5, and it should be 2, 3, 3, 5 on the other side too. It's absolutely center. All right. So all right. So the next one is the same. So I will go line from midpoint. And this time I've got to make sure I go perpendicular, all right? The midpoint does not suffice here because it's on an angle. So I'm just going to make sure I've got perpendicular across. Shift right click, perpendicular. So I'm ignoring those dimensions that I've given you down here. I'm just going in the middle of the room this time. Offset, again, 905. Now the thing is here now, you need to, before you start trimming, just remove the middle ones. Otherwise, it will trim up to those and stop. All right, so then we've got a toilet and a bath. Now the bath one is a bit, the window's a bit off center. But the toilet one should be in the middle. So line from midpoint, perpendicular, offset 610 divided by 2, 305. Oops. All right, so erase. And this one here, it is, it says it's 380 from there, so I could just offset this. I think it's a couple hundred millimeters from the corner, but that's all right. 380. Just typing in over offset there, guys. And then it's a 1210 window. So again, I'll sort of continue, click that, offset 1210. There you go. Ooh, no, that didn't go. Try again. Offset 1210. Click. I didn't click before. All right, so basically now, I think I've got all the window openings ready to roll. So I just go and put them in. So I'm going to begin the trim command. with the enter and just start chopping into it. It's a bit like painting, I suppose. Do a bit of preparation first. I'll finish this thing here either. These are a bit annoying because you have to get in here, then I have to come and change the layer. So we do spend a bit of time in AutoCAD doing this sort of stuff, which you don't normally have to worry about in Revit. It all takes care of it. But there's a huge overhead in AutoCAD in doing this sort of thing, getting it right, changing layers, and zooming along, of course. So up in here, look at that. That coming up. To miss, you can do crossing window. Don't have to be right on top of it. You can do that. All right, so that's done. Enter. Let me just give this a save as. I'm going to call it version 3 here. All right, so what's the next thing? Finish the store off. This store is, again, it's I already put the marker there from last week. It's in the middle between, I think I did it diagonally across from this corner to that corner. That's my midpoint. If I go offset, it's 820 doors, so therefore it's a 900 opening, which means 450 each way. This one I use the green layer by the look of it. It's fine. Erase that. TR, enter, just typing in, and there, and there. And now we've got the simple job of going around, selecting this and changing it to the right layer. More brick. And now the other ones are the opposite. So I'm just going to do a window here, just making sure I don't get the other ones. And studs. Same down here. I'm just going to go just miss everything. Doesn't matter if you pick up the ones that are already green, it's fine. It just means it doesn't give you a name there, but you can just go wall studs. And escape. And this one here is a bit problem. There we go. Wall studs. All right, so it's ready to go. We've got a window here. We've got a window there. We haven't got the 600 window, but I've got it somewhere saved. I'll change my layer to Windows. There you go, a window. And I'm going to insert this 600 window here. And I've got that. I think I've downloaded those blocks from the site. If you haven't, those blocks are actually sitting in here. They're on there. So let me have a look at what I got here. And some of those blocks are already defined in here anyway, so you don't have to even bring them in. It's only good if you to use those if you're starting from scratch, say your own project at home that you're not using my template for with. So, all right, so let's go to the insert, and there's some blocks there. And that's a 1210, that's 18. Do we have the other one? Windows 610, you've got 610 there. And then I'll just drop it there. And I didn't rotate it. So I can click here and I go rotate, back to the home tab, rotate, pick it up from the corner, and just do it 90 degrees down to that. That's it. I'll just keep putting these windows in. So how am I going to do this? They're all basically 1800s, and I've got a 1210 here. So I can copy that, or I can just insert it. I'll just go I for insert, enter. And if I look at my list here, it's already here because I typed in I for insert. It didn't come up with that other one, which is over here under insert. Didn't come up with that, which it might be good or it might be bad, but this gives a bit of a preview, so it might be okay, but it's really tiny, isn't it? Good to have bigger. You can make it bigger. If you had a lot of blocks, it's good to have it bigger. So I could pick it up from here or from the other way. If I go I for insert, enter, I can also pick it up from here, but it doesn't really give me the preview until I think I click on here. It shows me what it looks like that there. Now, before I didn't actually say to rotate it, so I think I might need to rotate it. This has already got the rotation tick here, so we should be all right. So I've got to put it somewhere, say here, and then it allows me to go up and rotate it to the end of that. Done. Now this one here, I need to, yeah, I think I'll just bring them in using this method because it's easier to rotate. I'm not sure if this one here lets me rotate. I'll just check. 1810, because it doesn't actually have the setting there. It's whatever it is default. This one I've got to pick it up. You've got to just know where to pick it up from. Here to there. So it allows me to rotate. Good. And this one here, I can copy it. So I'll just go home, highlighted it, copy. Now I need to match up a corner with a corner. It doesn't have to be any one of these corners. So this one doesn't matter. That'll do. The bottom corner with the bottom corner. And I only want to do one. I'll insert this one because it's facing the other way. So I get the opportunity to rotate it. It's coming in, hooked into that corner there. I want to put it onto this corner here and rotate it back to this corner. Right now I can copy it, CO for copy, and select it from my corner and put it onto here. Look what I have not done beforehand. I did not change, I thought I changed the layer, but I didn't see that red layer. Yeah, so I need to double check now that I've done, maybe I've done the others, I don't know. So how do I do that? Effectively, what I need to do is turn off the layer, the Windows layer, so I can actually see what I've done and haven't done. So I know I've done these ones. So, but because it's the current layer, it won't let me turn it off, or it will. You just give me a question. So I'll just do that. So yeah, you sure you want to turn it off? Yes. So now I can go and check. Oh yeah, so I've done them all. I thought I did. But I missed one. I think I just missed this one. So there you go. So I'll just fix that up. That's easy then. That's it. This one's all right. So okay. So now I can turn the layer back on. So it's a handy thing for layering. All right. So that door, we'll put another door in here. I might just copy this door because says we haven't changed layers. So I think the door I need to put in is one of these. So CO, pick it up and just bring it down here for a minute. Now it needs to be rotated 90 degrees. So I just click it and I go rotate. Rotate. So pick it up from it somewhere, just drop it there and move it. It goes right here where the red brick begins, and that's it, done. All right, so that's done. We've got the cupboards in last week. They're all in. We haven't got a door here, a 720 door we're missing, so let's do that. Might as well change this to a door layer. So just click on here and make it door layer. And I go to insert, A2720. Now prop it here and I rotate it there. That's it. All right, the next thing to put in is the roof. So I'll just pause there for a minute. All right, so this is a bit of an extra little thing just to gel everything together. It wasn't even part of the course. I just threw it in just so you can have a bit of real practical sort of experience in a way before you start your own little project. So let's go and go into the Home tab and change this to there should be a roof layer, roof outline, this one here. And that's got all the settings. If you have a look at the layer, if I just show you, it's got the right dashes under here, and it's got the right, it's got the right pen width. 0.18. So that's, I got it all set up for you. You know, if it wasn't there, you have to create the layer yourself. That's all, and give it the right color. And well, the color doesn't matter so much because you know it's up to you what color you make it. At the end of the day, it's still going to print out black and white anyway, or just black. So all right, so let's how are we going to do the roof? It's probably a myriad of ways. Now we do know it's 600 away from there. So okay, so let's have a look. What have I got here? I've got some polylines here already, so I can use that. Um, or I could just sometimes what I do. Uh, Sometimes what I do is this as well. But that might be a bit of a well, it might be all right. In a situation like this, I sometimes would actually instead of offsetting having to trim, I would actually use the polyline command, or in this case, it's pretty rectangular. We haven't put this porch thing. I better do that after, all right? It's a line that goes in here. Yeah, I might just do like a rectangle. It's just a technique. It doesn't matter how you do it. I could offset these lines and fillet them. I could do anything, but I'm just looking at this shape and it's rectangular, square in fact. Even if it wasn't square, sometimes I would opt to go for polyline or a rectangle in this instance. Let's say it was a bit of an odd shape. I would go for the polyline and I'll just trace around, see I'll start from here rather than the corner that's got no corner and come along. And now I'm in trouble here. I want to get it to that. See, I didn't put the porch there, so I'm in trouble now. So am I in trouble really? Oh, let's see. If I hang around there and I go like this, that works. If I hang around here and go like this, it's all coming back to me. So I told you all those things for a reason. So that will connect. See, it didn't connect that there. So undo. So let's just try that again. So go down here, and then we go across here until it connects there. Okay, second time better. And I'll just go close. So what I'm going to do next is offset. So select this and go offset and type in 600, I think. Yeah, should be 600. Enter to the outside and just delete this one here. All right, so we'll have to do this problem here. I'll sort that out in a minute. Problem there, I can use the stretch command. So I'll let you catch up with that. And then we can just stretch that along. Or we don't actually even have to use the stretch command, but I'll show you two different ways of doing this. Just because we want to more practice with the stretch, I'll do that first, and I'll show you another way. All right, so well, with the stretch, I think we discovered we can either hit the stretch first and then select stuff, or we can select stuff like this using the crossing window, the green one. So click once and then let go, click again, and then go stretch. And that's 3000 wide minus the 600 we already offset, 2400. So go here, make sure I'm on ortho or horizontally at least. It's a bit hard. I'm just going to lock it in. Oh, because I've got nothing set up, that's why. Okay, there you go. So I just go that way and I'll type in 2400. That makes the 3000 in there. You should always check just in case. Yeah, that's 3000. Good. All right. So that's one way. The other way will be this. Because it's a polyline, I can click on it. Then I can use the grips. But don't use the end grips. Use the flat middle grip. This one here. And then it's like a stretch. You can only do it with a polyline. Right? So and 2400. There's two different ways. That's it. And then I'll just put the ridge on just to show you the complete picture. Then I'll let you have a go. I do really need to use this this one here, the polar tracking F10. Make sure it's set to 45, which it is. Hit my line command and just go from here. Now, when you see the extended green dashed line, just click somewhere. It doesn't matter where, we don't know. It might be too long, it might be too short. And then escape. Do not be tempted to go and finish off a line down here. because it might not be 45, the second one. You need to, well, it won't be 45. You need to start again from this end and just go there. It's fine. Now I need to bring this together before I do my ridge. Well, you don't have to. You can do your ridge next if you really want to, because it's just from the middle of, either the left or the right vertical line. But how far do you go? Say there, and then you can do your fillet. If I filleted this first, it would have been easy for me to go from the middle point to the end point. So I would have saved myself a bit of time, eh? So now I have to pay for it. Trim, enter, and just tidy it up as your outline for the roof. Those of you that want to, for example, work out how to put in, rafters in here, there is probably a way of doing that as well. You could do that. And there's also, have we talked about hatching the walls? We haven't done the hatching the walls. I could show you those as well. But let me let you finish that off. Actually, let me just put the porch in here, which I've forgotten, and I think that's under floor outline. It's just a simple line or polyline, up to you. Maybe a polyline would be okay for here. And it's going to go and finish there, so I just go there like this and go down. Now, if I can't master that technique, what else can I use? Perfect. You go shift right click and you go perpendicular, and you just click on that red line and you go straight there. So you don't need to worry about those drawing aids that I've got there. All right, so that's it there. I'll show you the hatch, and also we might look a bit of a gradient, making it pretty looking as well at the same time. And then, yeah, then we'll see what we've got after that. All right, let's go with hatching next. There is a wall hatch, I hope. Is there a wall hatch? No, there's no wall hatch layer. So I recommend you put it in a different layer. So let's create one. Here's your chums. So it's under this button here. We just got the first button here. Well, there's 4 buttons up there. First one is new layer. And just keep the sort of theme going, which is like wall dash hatch. Generally, wall hatch is done with a thin sort of line type. Yeah, grey is fine, or you can give it a different color if you want, but yeah, grey is good enough. 0.18 or even thinner if you want. Maybe 0.15, it doesn't matter. Go OK. And then make that current layer by double clicking on the name there, and it gives it a little tick. Or if you can't do it that way, you can just come over here and go wall hatch, click on the name, not the color, the name. So we've got that. So the next bit is to actually do the hatch. No, just close out of that. Don't have to save the property dialog box. It just saves by itself. So let's give that a save. Well, sorry, I'm saving the drawing now, not the properties. So let's go with the hatch. Now the hatch is under Home tab, just down here under the draw, the last one. And if you expand that out, you've got a hatch, gradient, and a boundary. We're going with the hatch. And we're going to go for ANSI32, which is the last one again at the top list there. So a double 45-degree hatch. So now, as you can see, as I'm moving along, it actually is about to hatch. Or it's not about hatching chickens, just hatching something. But the thing is, you got to make sure, one, that you've got your scale set to 1:100. It's always recommended. And also that we are going for annotative hatch up here, which means it's using the scale command down here, scale factor, to size the hatch appropriately. So if I click that, see how the hatches are bigger now rather than being so dense? Now, I haven't changed the actual, this is what controls the spacing of those hatches, this thing here. It's a scale factor. So I can, I can play with that number, but if I picked up, say, this hatch next to hatch my wall with, and if, for example, one worked well for this wall with that hatch, one will probably not work well with this hatch. There's no relationship as to what what is nothing between all of them. There's no common factor that you can sort of guess or know that, okay, I'll just simply change the hatch around and it'll look good. The spacings are all over the place, so it's just a matter of playing with that and praying as well. Yes. All right, so let's go here. So let's go with now I'm going to stick with that one there. And one to start with, let's just see. I mean, that looks okay. I think double hatch. Is that a double? Maybe it's double. I think we're going to bring it a bit closer together. See how mine and my printer, those are a bit closer. So I think I'll go point 0.5 or 0.75. I don't know, 0.5 there. See what that looks like. Yeah, that's probably what I had for my original design. So let's go 0.5 now. I'm just in the red walls, that's all. And you have to do each. Fortunately, where there's finds a boundary where the thing is, the roof, it just stops, and we have to do that bit separately. So if I was clever enough, I would have turned off the roof beforehand, but again, I wasn't. Anyway, it doesn't matter because it will just do it all as one piece. Um, there you go. So it just continues on. I'm only managing to get one little line in there. Yeah, just clicking here. Um, if yours doesn't work and it starts bleeding out, sort of thing, it means that you have not um, somewhere, say in the corner, is not closed. You've got a gap. So I'm just going to quickly go. See what happened then? In mine, it just blew up. So I'll just undo down here. There's an undo option. So let me just have a look at that again. I probably just missed. Hopefully there wasn't a gap. There we go. I went a bit too fast. This computer feels like it's going to blow up. Okay, just sort of conks out every so often and just thinks, look at this, what happened here? See, there's a green line there, that should be a red line. I don't know what happened to that one. I'll have to come back and fix that up. Okay, and here, same, and here, and here. Probably would have been best if I turned off everything except for the walls, but hindsight is always a great thing, isn't it? So if I go enter now, that will escape. It will just solidify that. Let me just fix this bit here. Just click on that line, change it to wall brick. I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway, there's my hatch. So I'll just save that. Now, I saw some of you, I'll let you have a go at that in a minute, but I did see some of you trying to put some tiles in the bathroom, for example. So I'd like to take a moment to show you how to do that with a different sort of technique than what we just used now. All right. So this is just a bit of explanation about the hatch. And by the way, if you put your hatch in and it's not the right one or you want to change it, and see, I'm about to select it. And also, can you see that it's got a little symbol like a star dropper next to it? It means that this hatch is a notative when it was. If I click on it, you can actually change it to say this or that. All right? You can just change the pattern. There's more patterns down here. If you so wish, you can put that pattern there. But look at that pattern there with 0.5. It's actually either solid. Yeah, it's solid. It's so close. I'm not sure where the bricks are. Anyway, that pattern there is not the right one. But yeah, you can see what I mean. It works for one, but not the other. Now, what that means here, if we've got a notative on, and I'll just take this off, so it's not a notative. I'm not sure whether it will change it. No, it didn't change. It's not a notative anymore, but it left it as it was. Let me just undo that. So yeah, if being a notative, 0.5 and a notative is equal to the same thing as if we didn't use a notative and typed in 50. In other words, annotative picks up the scale, multiplies whatever the scale is, 100, by the 0.5. So if I put, let's say if I put in 50 and not make it annotative, it should be the same. I'll try it out just to prove myself wrong because I like being daring. So let me have a go at that. So I'm going to do a new one here, hatch here, and I'm going to go a new one. This one is not going to be annotative, and if I put it here, you can. Well, it's a brick. Let's go back. This is the same one, right? I put it here. See how dense it is? It's so close. It's like solid. All those lines are so close. But if I change that to 50, which is like 100 times 0.5, I think it should be the same result. 50. There, it's exactly the same thing. All right. Now, the reason we use annotative rather than just, why don't I just put in 50? It does help us when we go to print it. It also it allows us to have, for example, if you wanted to print this at 1:100, but also a furniture plan at 1:50, you can actually make it so it works for multi-scale without having to put in two different hatches in there. So for 1:50, it would have had to be a different size hatch. It would be probably double the 0.5 would be 1 to look the same. So annotative is a little hard to understand, but it does do away with having to create an extra layer for the say 1:50 and 1:100. Because if you had it all under wall hatch, how do you switch off one to the other? You can't. You have to have two layers so you can switch one off whilst in one viewport, non-view, as opposed to the other. So annotative helps us. So I can go here, for example, and I've got my properties on here. I can say, yes, okay, it's annotative 1:100, but please, I can make this also, if I click on here, I can say, yeah, well, also make it work for 1:50 for me. So I can add another scale here, and that means this one will automatically show up for when I've got a 1:50 plan as well, without me having to redraw it or create an additional layer, put it in. So now when I go over this, I've got two start droppers, which means multi-scaled. So if it's got more than one, it's just two of those. Right, so I'll leave that there for now, like that for me. We might remember to have a look at that later when we get to the viewports. All right, so now, have you all had a go at putting some hatching? No, have a go, and then we can go and have a look at putting some tiles in our bathroom. And I hope to show you. We haven't got a toilet in there, have we? Maybe we can put a toilet in there as well, just to. Well, that's a toilet over here, isn't it? Maybe a bath. I don't know. So we're going to see what we can find to put in there, so that we can work the tiles around it, so make it a little more difficult. All right, let's have a look. Oh, it's 7:18. What happened to the time? All right, so we talked about finding some free blocks and things online, and I just emailed everyone on my list. So if you find any other websites, feel free to reply back and send me your favorite website, and I'll keep adding to that. Continuous improvement. So what I was going to do is bring in a bath or a toilet or something in here. So let's have a look at that. AutoCAD has got some inbuilt stuff, and I've given you some stuff, but I don't think I've given you a bath. Let's if you look at the AutoCAD inbuilt stuff, thing at the view, tool palettes here. There, it will bring up this thing here. Let's move it out. This, and can we make a bigger thing here? Like that. All right, so we've got some imperial samples at the top. Now we are in by default in the architectural. There's a whole lot of them. Annotative, construction. No, that's constraints. Other stuff. All right, structural. Even. So architectural is the default, hopefully. Now there's some windows and stuff, but down the metric, just a bit below that, where have we got? I thought there was a toilet. There is a toilet, but there's no bath. Great. Oh, let's put the toilet in. So there's a metric toilet, so I can click that in, and it comes in. There it is. Doesn't look like a planned toilet to me. Move this out of the way. I'll just drop it somewhere. So I'm going to then escape and then click on it, and then it's got this little down arrow here, and you can get different versions. There's a plan version of that. I think I want the round plan, maybe. Yeah, maybe that looks more like what I'm looking for. Um, and it's got this other thing that looks like a little house, that blue thing. That's an alignment um, parameter. So it means when it senses a line, it will align itself to the line. So if I click here and drag it, go there, see how it rotates to be along that orientation. So that's handy. That's very clever blocks. It's But anyway, really, I'll just put it under the hatch layer just then. Maybe we should create another layer and put things like fixtures. How are we going to find the toilet and the bath and whatever? I don't know. Maybe one of those sites I send you will have one. Maybe we can do that and then come back and put it in after. So let me just, oh, I don't have to go in there. I know there's one here. So one of the sites I send you is called Drafts Person, and I think that's more Aussie, they tell me. So you're more likely to find local stuff in there on net. That's it. I think it's called Drafts Person. Son net. That one there has, for example, tutorials as well, but it has this thing called AutoCAD free AutoCAD blocks, and then you have whole thing, bathroom fixtures, page 1 of 17, 2 of 17, 3. So it's all these pages, 17 files. This is a bit different. This has got like a drawing, basically a big drawing that's got a whole lot of stuff in it. You just copy and paste. Whereas you can sometimes get, or mostly, just pick up one thing, like a toilet only, or this is called like men. So you got men here. Where's women under W? There's women down here. um, and then it's got Australian. See, it's got Australian stuff here. Still sections, which is really handy. Um, yeah, so anyway, let's look at this type of thing. So I'll just download the first one, and you can do the same if you want. And gives you a bit of a sample what's in here. So in the bathroom, I'm looking for, well, it doesn't, hold on, restrooms, basin. We want the bath. Is there a bath somewhere? Bath. It should be in the bathroom, restroom. I mean, it's just a guess as to where they are, aren't they? I just wanted a standard bath, right? Okay, there's no bath there. Bath is very difficult to find, right? What else do we want? You should. I'm not sure if you can search, custom search. Sure if you can do that. A batch. Gee, if I could spell, bit dangerous. Bath. Baths by Karama. Oh, this is just a general um, search. I don't think it's blocks. But then again, yes, those companies themselves that make the baths also sometimes have a library you can download for free. So check that out. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about the bath. I'll just leave it for now because it's taking too long and I should be more prepared. But then again, all right, a bath. It's about 800 by, so it's 800 by say 1500. Just put a bath in. How are we going to do that? I'll show you. Let's create a layer, then we'll have a break, and then we'll come back and actually do the tiling. All right, so go to home. Let's create another layer and just call it new layer. We'll call it, what is it, plumbing? What are we going to call it? Fixtures? What? Come on, give me a name. Fixtures? Fi- Fixtures. All right, that will do fixtures. And let's, I'll give it a color. Maybe One of these if it looks all right. And yeah, thin color's fine. Thin 0.18 maybe, something like that. Okay, so make that current and close that. And I'm going to put that as well under fixtures. Fixtures there. Another F there. So that's the one I put in earlier. Now bath, I'll just put in the bottom corner here. I won't worry about the basin or whatever. I'm just going to do a rectangle. And we're going to start from here and we're going to go D for dimensions. And just make it 800, say, wide by 1500 long. There we go. And just place it to one end. So that end up there. Escape. And you can offset this and go highlight it and go offset and go maybe 75 in or 100 like that. And maybe just maybe you can do also a fillet. And I'll slow down after this. Fillet radius, fix the radius to maybe 100, 150, say. Let's go 150 radius. And pick up the polyline option. Click that and escape. Make them all be rounded. Let's get on to the tiling. So how do we tile this? First of all, I would like to turn off the roof because I can see the roof is going through my bathroom and it's going to stuff up the hatching like before. You stop sort of there, see that? And then I do another lot there. So it's best to just not to have two different sections. So let's turn off that. So I'm just going to highlight the roof, just one of the lines, and that way it gets me to the layer. And then I'll just go to turn it off. I'm also going to turn off the doors because they also get in the way. They sort of get in the way. Actually, I might leave them in there. Sorry, not leave them there. What we'll do is put make the layer floor outline, and we're going to draw some lines to stop the hatching leaking out of the room. So I'm just going to draw where we normally would change material. Just put it in the middle of the door there, something like that. So that contains that, and might as well do another one for the toilet in case we do that. So in here, for example, we might do some tiling. The rest of the place might be something else. But generally, you put those lines there to separate the rooms. So if that was tile in here as well, I would put another one there. The corridor might be carpet. Who knows? All right. So we should create a new layer called floor tiles or something like that. So new layer, floor tiles, right? And gee, this grey color is getting a workout. You can use whatever color you want. Let's see. I don't know. I'm just going to pick something. Pick one of these, a nice lilac, and 0.18 is fine for now. And make that current. Close that. So now I've got my layer ready, and I'm about to do some tiling. Now you tell me what size tiles you want in this bathroom, and we'll go from there. All right, so and now we're going to put some tiles in here. Let's go for we're going square tiles or we're going rectangular ones. Square ones are easier. Rectangular ones are more advanced. Let's go to square. Okay. All right, let's go square tiles. All right, let's go. What? 400 by 400. Perfect. Do they make them? Who knows? They do now. All right, so let's go. Let's go to a hatch. And instead of having the pattern option here, which is what that says there, and getting these, and you might find one and think, oh yeah, that looks like a good tile or whatever size, like there is one that's like that one there. The problem with this one here, remember what I said about this numbering thing here? You can't control it. So you can't actually tell it, I want it 300 by or 400 by 400. But if you go change the pattern to user defined, You get just horizontal lines or just vertical lines, or you can get you can double them up, so it becomes like here. If you go down to the properties here, you can go double, which means they work vertically and horizontally, so you can get your square happening. All right, so again, we're going to go annotative, and there's the scale all of a sudden is not any longer a scale, it's a spacing now. So you can actually put in a number, a real size number, which is absolute breakthrough. All right, so let's go with 400. All right, so now we've done 400, enter. We go in here, and to my disgust, this doesn't work. Okay, so let's see why doesn't it work. 400, actually, maybe annotative shouldn't be on. Should be. No, no, something's going on here. Sometimes, now we're going 400, did that. Yeah, that should work. There, it's working. All right, so annotative shouldn't be on, I'm sorry, because we are actually doing, it's an actual size thing. So annotative, we only scale it by 100 times, and we want a real 1:1 size, so we're going to leave the scale out of the equation this time. All right, so we'll just go just associative, which means if the room size changes, it'll grow with the room. So yes, I'll do one in there as well, I suppose. But this thing is locked up a bit. Okay, here we go. And now over here, it's having trouble detecting. Sometimes you have to press this button here, pick points. And then you go in there and it sort of finds it better. Or sometimes you have to actually click. That's just a preview. There you go. So that's solidified that there. And, you know, we can enter that and finish, and that's it. Now, that's made out of 2 hatches because that door was there. But if it wasn't there, it would be 1 hatch. So that's, you know, that's what that is. If you want a rectangular ones, you're going to have to hatch that twice. Once with a horizontal hatch at, say, 400 apart, and once at a vertical hatch of, say, 800 apart. So you get a 400 by 800 tile. Way too complex for us. Question? You can actually measure on these intersections. You just have to go to your options and actually make it have an object snap to this intersection. But I won't do that now. Put those in, and then I'll perhaps show you how to manipulate it so that there is a set out point from wherever you want it to be. You know, tilers set out from a particular location, whether it is from the floor trap or whether it is from the corner of the bath or the middle of the doorway or whatever. And also, you can rotate them 45 degrees if you want as well. Put them in first. So we all got this in here, right? Anyone not got the tiles in? Or whoever. Yeah. So they've got the tiles in there. So suppose you want to rotate them so they're 45 degrees for a start. So you can click on here and you can click on here. You change the angle here to 45, enter. So it's just the one above where we're doing the sizing. So they come in like that. Ah, so yeah, I can show again. So you highlight them, right? Fine. And then you just go to here, change that to 45. Yeah, it's a bit hard to see. I wish I had a highlighter on my arrow here because it's hard to follow this thing on the screen. All right. I think I probably changed my pointer. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe one day. All right, so that's 45 degrees. Now, where do we want to set out from? Perhaps we want, see that tile there, that line, I want that to be in the middle of the door, that line. And I want, do I want a whole tile there? Or do I want a whole tile to start from just there? You know, I don't know what the tilers do, but it doesn't really matter. If I want the whole tile to start from right there, I'm going to have to put another construction line here just to work out what that is. So I won't bother. Let's just say we want a whole tile. So this line with a whole tile back there in the middle. So I'll show you what I mean. So we need to then, while I've got that highlighted, set the origin. I think that might work. Just the midpoint of that. There you go. So that's just moved it in there. If you had another location, you could change it to that. So I haven't done anything in here, but this one you might do a different origin, or just keep that one there. So I'll show you what I was talking about before. If you want to actually measure on the hatches, because normally you can't hook onto hatches to measure, you can go to your big A, go to options, then go to drafting tab, and then there's you need to put a tick here under object snap options, where it says ignore hatch objects. Hang on, that should be ignore hatch options objects. It shouldn't work. It should work with that off, I think. So maybe mine is already set like that. So let me see if I can actually. Yeah, mine was already set, so I can measure if that yours wasn't, perhaps by default. So by default, it has a tick in there. You should just take it off if you want to be able to measure from hatch to hatch. Otherwise, you can't snap onto it. So it should be like that if you want to do that. And also, those of you that are struggling to sort of find the endpoint sort of thing, you can make the aperture bigger here. So for example, if I OK that, is it that one? Didn't work. Hold on. Erase. That was supposed to be it, but anyway, let's see. I'm not sure why. Aperture size, that's the one here. There's also object snap size. You can make that bigger so you can see it. I don't know, I'll make that bigger and see what happens. I think the one in the middle should have grown, that little square, as far as I'm concerned. But line from, oh, that one's grown for sure. If I go erase, that one should be bigger, but it's not. Anyway, I'm not sure why. I won't waste too much time on it. I'll put it back to how it was in that one a bit. All right. Okay, so that. All right, so have a go at that bit. Now the other thing is in this room here, we might put in might put in what can we do? Let's do this bedroom here. Just put in a line across here again. Floor tiles. Just leave it a floor tiles for now. Just draw a line across here and there, and then we'll change that back to floor outline after, rather than. Okay, so I still want my floor tiles layer, I suppose, but this time I'm going to actually hatch this differently. I'm going to do a solid hatch first, and then I'll do a gradient hatch. It's just the difference. So again, back to the hatch. A solid hatch will be just under solid instead of user defined. You just change that back to solid. And basically, if I click in here, it's whatever the color of the layer is, that's what I get. That's it. All right, so now we've got that solid there. I'll just click on it and highlight it. I wonder if I can change it to gradient. I can change it to gradient, or I can delete it and do it again from scratch using this command. Maybe we've got another room we can do gradient in. I'll just use the same one. Saves us putting any lines in. All right, so maybe just delete it. We'll do it again. Make out doing it again. We've got that there. So we'll just start from scratch. Delete those and just go push it up a bit. All right, so we'll go down here. You can go straight to gradient from here, or you can go from, it's the same area here. You can just change from here. You can just go hatch and then change it afterwards. Or we'll go gradient, which is go home, down here, gradient, and then you get an option of two colors. So by default it's blue and yellow because yellow goes well with blue apparently. So or you can choose any colors you like. So you can go, for example, I want to go, I don't know, I want to go that color with perhaps the red, and I want to put it in here and there. But you see, you can control then how it works. So you can do it so it's the yellow in the middle, or the yellow begins from the left, or you can do it like that. You can do it like a bit of a sky, for example. If I pick that and I picked a dark blue and light blue, perhaps, maybe it's the other way around. I don't know, whatever. You can do things like that. All right, so that's gradient. So you probably know just about everything about hatches now, almost. Yeah, yeah, everything. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's learn the array command. Okay, I'm going to put a hexagonal table in my dining room here, and for that I need. I might just put it down. Well, I don't know. I can't bother creating any more layers. I'll just put it under fixtures. All right. Should go under furniture really, but let's just we spent half the night creating layers. So fixtures. I want to put a hexagonal table. So if I click on the rectangle behind the rectangle, there's a polygon. You can click that, and then it'll ask you the number of sides that you want, and by default it goes 4, which I don't know why. It's a polygon. At least give me 5 sides by default. But anyway, let's go with 6, and then the next thing it says specify the center of the polygon. All right, so I'm just going to click. I want it about there. Then it says, do you want it inscribed, or it says inscribed in circle or circumscribed about circle. All right, so I've told it what the middle is, and now it's asking me whether I want, if you can imagine, or I'm going to give it a radius later. All right, so that's the thing. So it's going to say how big is your table. I'll say well, 600 radius, which should give me about a 1200 table overall, like diameter. So if you can imagine a circle, inscribed means it's completely within the circle. It's not going past the circumference. And circumscribed is totally basically hugging the circumference around the circle. It's scribing around it. All right. So I usually do this with a circle there so people can actually see the difference. You don't do this. You don't need to do this. I'll do it so you can see what I mean. And I'll put a circle there first so you can see what happens when I choose one option or the other. So if I click here, I'll put in a 600 there. Oh, 60, hey? Okay, so I'll put in a 60. How do I fix it? I'll click on this thing. I've got my properties there all the time. And change another 0 there. There you go, done, no problem. All right, so and I'll just put this on a different layer just so you can see the difference. I'll just put it on the viewport layer. Okay, it's gray. All right. So I'm going to go now. Polygon 6, yes. The center of it will be, now I'm going to, because I've got a circle there, I want to get it right in the center of the circle. So I've got something to go with. I will actually tell a center, but you guys, you can just click anywhere. Center there. All right, so there is now inscribed. Yes, okay, inscribed. And it says set the radius 600, 60. Radius, it's in the circle, inscribed, inside. All right. So I'll do another one. Enter, do another one. Go to the center. I'll type it in, CEN, enter. Sorry, I should read the question. 6, yes. The center is where I want it. CEN, enter. Center. And I want it to be circumscribed. And the radius is 600. Same as before. So you can see my 1200 table. If it's circumscribed, I get much more table. All right, so when you go by hexagonal table next time, you say is it circumscribed or inscribed, just so you know what you're getting. All right. Better be careful. I don't know what they're going to say at the other end of the phone, but anyway. Let's go with. So yeah, that's inside, and that's one. The other one's outside. All right. So it doesn't matter which one you want to do. Let's just do a circumscribe because it's a bit bigger. So I'll delete that one, and I'll delete that one. All right, so you should end up with a table like that. Circumscribe 600 below this. And then we're going to put in some chairs around this table. Now, you know how to do a polygon basically now. And we're going to put a chair around it. Then we're going to make it, put the chairs all around the table automatically. All right. Funny enough, though, although it's asking for the center of the polygon, there is no center for the polygon. So you can't go draw a line from the center of the polygon. Shift right click, center. There is no such thing. All right. So AutoCAD. All right. So how do you find the center of the polygon? Does anyone know? How could we find it with all the knowledge we've known for the past 4 weeks or so? How do we find the center of that polygon? Sorry, draw some lines. Yeah, across here. Yes, we certainly did that before we had one or two tools. Let's say. Geometric center, perfect. Yeah, you're both very close. Yes, you're right on. Geometric center. Yeah, the geometric center hasn't been there for that long. It's only been there probably 5 or so years ago. I don't know, 6. So not long ago we didn't have that. So what did we do before that? We use this one here. We use this one here, mid between 2 points. And before that was there, because that hasn't been there for maybe 10 years or so or more, maybe 12. So before that, because I've been using it for over 30 years, right, I did what you said and drew a line across there, and they found the midpoint of that line. Yes. But this is okay to draw a line across here in such a what's the word? Symmetrical sort of shape, uniform. But if it was out of totally, if it was a weird shape, if it was like that, for example, how do you find the the center of that? Certainly, geometric center is the only thing you can do now. From geometric center to that, then that's the geometric center of that. But yeah, this one here, I'll do the same thing. Line from geometric center, and just click on here, and there it is. Anyway, we don't really need to worry about that, but yes, I thought it was just a question that I wanted to ask. Now we know. All right, so let's draw a rectangle, which in fact the rectangle will be just a square. Or should we have a little polygonal pew? No, we'll just do a square one. So rectangle, and I'm going to put this rectangle anywhere here. And I'm going to go dimensions, and my little chair is going to be, let's make the chair so it's actually a bit rectangular rather than square. Let's make it 400 in the width and make it 600 so we know the difference, 600 in the depth. Oh my God, that's huge. Okay, so let's put it down there. That's a huge chair. Anyway, so we're just going to move it. We're going to move this chair. All right, so I'm going to highlight it and move it from the midpoint to the midpoint of that. So I want it there like that. A weird chair, but I don't know. So get that. All right, so now we've got that there. Now what I want you to do is do one more move. So click it, move, and then click somewhere and move. Make sure ortho is on. Ortho, so you go straight up and go up 50 millimeters. So the chair is not right on the table. All right. Right, got that? Once you've done that, highlight the chair again. Everyone moved it? Yeah? Up a bit? Yeah? Okay? It doesn't matter if you don't move it, but it just means it's stuck on the table, that's all. No big deal if you don't move it. So go, there's an array here next to the offset. Just click down arrow and select the polar array, which means go around a circle like that. Oh, there's an example with chairs. There you go. Perfect. Much nicer chairs than mine. So let's go with polar array. And it says here, where's the center point? I'm glad I told you how to find it before because now we're going to use that. The center point of that polygon is shift right click, as we all unanimously decided, is the geometric center of this. So you have to just go on the perimeter of that and click on it. And that's, oh, well, there you go. That's what I wanted. It worked. Excellent. Well, it's only worked because of sheer fluke. Um, yeah, I know. I picked a six-sided table, and by default, AutoCAD gives me 6 things around a circle. So I was lucky. Yeah, it could have given me 8, in which case it would have looked like this. Then I would have to try and fix the thing. But I'm grateful. Anyway, suppose you want to change it to 8. You just select this and just change the number of items around the table to 8 or 10. Up to you. But yeah, 6 is actually what we wanted. So just change back to 6. There you go, 6. And you can also do other things. You can make it so it doesn't rotate as it goes around the table. This button here. So most times you want to rotate it as it's going around, but sometimes why not. You can change the direction, which does nothing in this instance. And that's about it, really. Well, you can do a couple other things. You can say, well, I only want 4 chairs around the table. So you can go, okay, well, four chairs. There's 4 chairs, but I only wanted to go half a circle, 180 degrees. So it does that, which is great. What if I wanted the other side, or even I go 180? I think you can then go, then you do direction. See? Useful. Right. But I wanted the bottom ones actually. So how do I do that? Between 60 and 180? Actually, I'm not sure. Let's see. 270. That does that many. I'm not sure I did get that actually. Must be a way of doing that. I'm not sure if it's got to do with. Well, this is just. I think. Oops, I stuffed it up. Click it. That just completes the circle. Yeah, I'm not sure how to. 180 is what we want. But I think it works with that being the first one there. If I had it on this side, it would have probably worked. Can you rotate base point? Redefines the base point. Oh, no. Edit source, reset array. Yeah, I'm not sure how to get that other than whether you can actually rotate it, which is back here at home. I honestly have never tried that. Never had the use for it, but it's always the first time. There you go. Did that, but it's not quite right. So I think it's got to do with then I've got to play around with what does that do? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Just leave it. If anyone works it out, let me know. You can see I use arrays every day. Hardly ever. Especially these ones. Anyway, I'll undo that. By the way, well, it's too late now. Control Y, okay. If I want to get rid of one of them, I just go control key and click it, and then delete. And just delete one. Or of course you can, actually totally break it by exploding it. Well, that's like pulling it all apart to separate components. Just explode. Anyway, yeah, look, do explode it and then pick up one of these and copy it. And let's put it over here, just like that. And I'll show you a different array, the horizontal one, like setting up a theater of chairs sort of thing. Just copy that over there. You have to explode this first, perhaps, or undo back. And then select this and go array, rectangular array. And then that's great. Love it. Escape. That's all you wanted, right? That's it. Now, that's what I do anyway. It's not what everyone else does or the textbook. But what I do, I just grab what it gives me first, then I play with it. So it gives me that, fine. I click on it next, and I fill in the form. Work out what I want. Okay, I start reading. 4 columns, too many, not enough. So I wanted, perhaps I wanted 6. There you go, easy. Now that was 400 we said, and it's given me 600 spacing between. So I got about 200 there, but I don't want the chairs to be that far apart. I want them only 100 spacing apart. So I can change the between bit to be 500. So it brings them closer. And it's also in the rows, giving me 3 rows, but I actually wanted 5. So that it's grown up a bit more. But I can actually grab them and just grow them myself like that. I can even do this. But I wanted this 900, it's only 300 for my leg. I want maybe 400 millimeters for my legs. So I can make it 1,000 because, you know, the chair's 600 deep plus 400 space for your legs gives you 1,000. So 1,000 spacing, much better setup for me. So there's my auditorium setup. Now that's great, but it just sort of grew them up and across. But what if I wanted them down from where I started from? So that will be probably this one here. That's this one. This is the rows. It's one of them, minus 1,000. There you go. Just takes them down. And of course, if I go minus 500, you go to the left into the house. So just play with those things for a bit. And that's your array. Again, with the same one with here, you can just go control click and get rid of, oops, you can get rid of a whole lot, of course. No, you can't do one by one. It sort of highlights them, but they're not highlighted unless it's got a little red dot in it. Control and click. That's just a graphics issue, I think. And then you can delete those. You can even, or you can rotate them. So I can delete those, for example. But maybe one of them here, I might decide I want to just rotate it. So you just go rotate. So you pick it up from, you know, whatever there, rotate it. You can spacebar rotates as well. I've got ortho on, that's why it went like that, but you can do a nod rotate like that. You can, I suppose, move it. Control key. You can move it. There you go, done it. What does it mean if I change my rows now or my columns? It doesn't do anything. That thing just stays there. It just there's more to do with it. All right, so the same thing. You can explode this into individual things, but once you explode it, then you can't, you know, fill in the form anymore. It's just separate chairs. So it's be useless. So you can edit one column. No. Transport that around through. Edit. You want to make them all the same. Yeah. And then you array it. You didn't like it. Can you adjust one block? Well, I think there was an edit source. I'm not sure if that's what you mean. Edit the actual. I haven't actually done that. The source objects of the associated array. The source object of the associated array can be edited while in an array editing state. Enter array close and exit the array editing state. Oh, well, it can't be edited. Oh, there. So you want to change that perhaps, and then make that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And then that apply. Oh, I've never done it before, but I can make this one like maybe. Oh, they're all changing already. See, that's not what I wanted. Perhaps. Yeah, that's all right. Do that, and perhaps you want to do that.
Yeah.
Do that. There you go. Good question. And then you can save the changes. Wow, what a team. Yes, there you go. Good thinking. Mm. All right. I'd like to show you how to put in some rafters, perhaps, in your roof once you mastered the arrays. Huh? Do that? Okay, let's do that. How can we do that? Let me think. Yeah, hatch. Let's do that. All right. So what I want you to do is turn off everything except for the roof. So let's just go to layer, and then you click on a layer name, and then Control A. That will select all of them. Or click on the top one, Shift key, go to the bottom. All those Windows things work. And then what I want to do is turn off everything, and it'll give you a root message. You say you want to turn off the current layer. Yes, go turn off. And then we're going to just put the roof on and just turn it back on. So just highlight click on the roof outline word, and then click the dark globe on, and there it is. And then we're going to create a layer called rafters, roof rafters or something. So go back to the layers, roof rafters, and make them whatever color you wish, something different. I'll make them green. Maybe that's not good with that color. Maybe a dark green. Okay, and yeah, 0.08 or whatever. You might, if you want to represent them with like a dash dot, you can actually give it a line type, like it's a fill, something like a fill member. Let me just plug my computer in. Yeah, so you might want to give it a dash dot if you want. That's just complicating it a bit, but that's all right. There is a dash dot in here. But that's the same as the roof. Um, if you wanted a different, maybe you just wanted dashed. I don't know. What do we want it? Maybe we don't want anything. We just leave it like that. That's all right. But yeah, but I'll show you how to load other ones in, because all there is in there is just those three, and you're wondering how to do it. I'll show you. So the way I did it, I went load, and you can bring all these different line types. So for example, you can bring in that one there, center. But I will bring all there's three center types, like a normal center, a very short dash center, and an extra large dash. So I bring them all in just to see which one works for me. And I go okay. And then now the centers are in here, whatever, but it still continues. So I've got to actually click on the center to apply it to the layer. So now it says center. Right? So just because it brought them in, it doesn't mean it applies them. You just got to choose one, right? So let's go with the center just for the fun of it, and go close. Again, line types are annotative, and they work with this thing here, the scale. So let's hope for the best. You could just try it out first. You can just draw like a line first to see if your dash is working, perhaps. Oh my goodness, I'm doing something in a layer that's off. See that? I created my layer, but I never made it current. So rafters, here you go. Oh, that's off as well. Turn it on, yes. Oh, we're not doing well today, are we? Okay. Is that on or off? No, that's off. There you go, rafters on. Be careful you don't start drawing a layer that's off. Because I turned everything off, then I created a layer. It thought that the new layer had to be off as well. But no, turn it back on. Now we'll be able to draw something. Just so we'll test it today. We would have put all this stuff in there, we wouldn't be able to see a thing. All right, so let's go line. I mean, yeah. Oh, look at that. So that dash seems to be that it's not really right. It's not too big for that distance. So I might go back to my layer and change it to the one that's smaller, the half size one. This one here, 0.5x, center 2. Change it to that, not center x2, center 2. Now, nothing's happened. Sometimes you have to regenerate your drawing. So if I go REG not reg enter, but reg, it comes up with a thing called regen all. There you go, that nothing happened. Why did nothing happen? I mean, it should have changed. Center 2, yeah. Let me just draw another line. I'm not sure why it's not regenerating, because it shouldn't stay the same. Well, if that's, it's probably because it's not long. I'm not sure, because that, well, that there, it's hard to know, because this is the first and the last bit are going to be like different. You just got to draw longer to just see the difference. Perhaps that's the wrong line type. It doesn't matter, but can't help it. Um, to me, they look the same. Oh, well, they're supposed to look the same. The center like hasn't changed though. If I go to just, oops, if I go to just center, which is what I had before, which is supposed to be bigger. Oh, okay. So it has, it's better. Center 2 is better, supposedly. All right. So let's go to center 2. Center 2. Okay. So, okay, there you go. All right. On the longer one, it looks better. Anyway, we'll just erase those now. All right. So I want to do, I want to create some, yeah, the thing is, I want to create some rafters in here. So I want to use the hatch because I want to create them quickly and I don't want to do any trimming. So I'm going to go hatch and I'm going to go user defined and I'm going to go 90 degrees. I'm going to go vertical. I think that might help. We always can change that. And I want the distance. How far are my rafters? 600, 900, any takers? It doesn't matter. 600, say. Depends what the book says. All right, so 600. I'm not gonna go not additive, just associative. I'll click the points there just in case. There you go. There's my rafters there with 600. That's wrong. They shouldn't be going. It should be stopping in there. That should be. See, that's not working, and I don't know why, but it should be sensing that line there and stopping in that side of the hip. So how can we fix this? Well, I never thought I had to fix it, but I'll try fixing it, okay? So let's see what other techniques we got. Down here's a thing called boundary. Let's see if I can help this helps me. I doubt it will. Pick points. Let's see. There you go. That creates a boundary. That's what it should have detected before by itself, but it wasn't detecting it. So I'm going to put a boundary in there, like that. That's in there now, and I pick somewhere else, and I do another one, and another one. So I put my boundaries in and try to finish. So basically, I do a bit of preparation work. I never really had to do this before, but today I do. So you get to see boundary command. All right, so that's in the same layer as this, which is fine, but it means now, and we can always delete the boundary after, but anyway, let's go hatch. Oh, wrong one, sorry. Hatch, hatch, and we are set for 600. All right, so what we're going to do now, it does detect it now, but if it didn't, you go select, and you actually select this polyline, yes, and puts it in. I've got detection because that's okay now. See, they're all going to be solid anyway for some reason, and this one here too. All right. Now this one here, I've got to go back and change it to 0. So it goes the other way. All right. Now, who's a chippy here again? Anyone else? No. So what's wrong with this? What's wrong with my rafters? That's right. So that should be a whole one from here. So you start from here, the set out, and from there, the set out, and from there, right? Correct? Possibly, yes. All right. So how do we fix this? Plus, they're not matching up here. What did I tell you before about setting out? There's AutoCAD can handle that. So I'll go here and I go click on it and go set origin to that. There you go, that's fixed. Same with this one, click on here, set origin, and give it that point there. That's looking better already. And then this one here, set origin and go there. There you go. So it's up to you if you want to delete these outlines now, but the thing is if I do, and you can always hide them, put them different layer and hide them. If that roof size changes everyone, not if it's going to look like that. Hold on. Oh, that's so much for being annotative. Associative. Let's see which one is hooked onto. All right, nothing's working, so forget it. The idea is if I change the size of the roof, those will grow, but I'm not sure why they're not growing because they are associative to something. Anyway, it doesn't matter if I delete this now because it doesn't really do what I wanted to do anyway. AutoCAD does not always work. Anyway, so there's my rafters in there, and a cable end on that end. And now I can turn, perhaps up could be my roof plan by turning off different layers. You might want to just leave the walls underneath, for example, when you're creating your sheet. So you can just see the walls like that. Oh, let's start. And wall brick. So you might want to bring that, leave it like that, and that's sort of your roof layout thingy. Or turn everything on, turn off the rafters. Yeah, so basically it's a bit of a mess because everything's on top of each other. So I'm going to turn everything back on. Click on one of these, Control A, and then everything on. And that's what we've done today. Give it a save. Yeah, it's 8:30 odd. So we can look at putting it on the sheet, or we can quit soon. I'll pause so you can catch up, and we'll go from there. We'll reassess. Yeah. So if you really wanted to adjust this even more, you could explode this. In other words, we just used the hatch command to give us the line work quite quickly without having to worry about offsetting and trimming and all that sort of jazz. So if we just basically do the unthinkable and just explode it, and just check that it remains in the same layer. And now I can, it's fully adjustable. I can do other things. I can delete it, move it a tad over, or whatever. So yeah, it's not exploded yet, but you can.